Hi everyone. I'm going to make another YouTube video on how to make some arepas. Now I've already have some of the items are already prepped, and basically I've already slow cooked. I did a sous vide technique on my roaster, on my beef. What I did was I took a slab of beef that I bought. It was tri-tip, and I filled this up 3/4 of a way. I used this is my poor man's version of sous vide. So I took one plastic bag, two actually, and you need 2 plastic bags. And what I did was I put my slab of meat in there, and then I added all my flavors, my Worcestershire sauce, salt and pepper, a couple bay leaves, bell peppers, onions. Let's see, what else did I put in there? I think I put some thyme, and that's about it. I didn't want to use a lot. I didn't want to use a lot of seasonings because I want that beefy flavor to come out. And so I left it on overnight on a low. If you have a slow cooker, you don't have a sous vide, just leave it on low, on a low temperature, and make sure it's on low. And then just put it in there, 3/4, let it hang out like this. I used the lid, covered it up, and then I just let it cook slowly overnight. Well, best thing you could do. Anyways, but there you have it. So I have my masa already prepped, and what it is masa harina with a mixture of buckwheat. So I use buckwheat and masa harina, on organic masa harina I was able to find. And then I used a stock instead of a stock, a vegetable stock, instead of a water. I used, I put my seasonings in there. I put my salt and pepper because I wanted it to really flavor, and I put a little bit of fat in it, which is like an oil. I used, I think I used a extra virgin olive oil in there. I mixed it up until I have this soft, doughy consistency. Sorry. So I have my my griddle on over here. Okay. And I have my griddle on, and what I'm going to do is basically, you want a wet towel. I want you to be able to see everything what I have. This is going to be my dressing. This is going to be a dressed up cabbage. And so all I have is some sliced, julienne sliced red onions, and I just thinly sliced some cabbage, and then I cut it up. I minced up some red peppers, and I minced up some jalapeno peppers. I minced up some cilantro, and then I chiffonade a little bit of the flour because I wanted to have a nice, pretty, colorful feel to that, you know. Now I'm just going to go ahead and add some lemon here. Some lime, excuse me. Some lime, just going to add some lime because this is going to balance the beef. Okay? It's going to be really delicious. Okay. Make sure, and I think I'm going to add just a little bit of salt to that. Okay? Just a little. Get a tong, mix it up. add some tomatoes to that, that's fine. I think I'm going to use just a little bit of oregano. It's not mixing up too well, so I'm going to use my hands. Remember, your hands are your tools. Best tools you can have in the kitchen. And just taste that. That oregano, what it does, just steps it up a flavor. Put this aside. So I have a lot of things going on over here in my kitchen, making sure. I want to make sure you can see that. So I just mix it up. You could use it separately, but these arepas are going to be so easy to make once you get your masa together with the consistency. And I do have a video clip that you could see. So you have your salad. You can put that aside for the arepas. And you could use the salsa, which I do have a salsa, which would be perfect for them. I really want you to see how I make these. And I've done some, and I call them tortas. And it's up to you what you want to call them. You want to call them tortitas. I think it depends on what region that these are made. But some people call them tortas, some call them arepas. And South America has a lot of wonderful influences of delicious cuisine, and it's a whole different world, and it's influenced by so many countries from trades and for the foods that have been traded throughout many centuries. And so to me, arepa sounds a little Mayan. So I would love to have used blue corn, but since I wasn't able to get a hold of blue corn, that's why I mixed the buckwheat and I mixed the masarina. So basically what you do is you just take, and I've shown you this before, make sure your skillet is nice and hot. I use a little bit of grapeseed oil and a little bit of my canola, and put that in there, and this is nice and soft. Make sure your masa is cold, and I think it works better when it's cold. It's not going to be too soft. So, and I think that does help a lot. And then plus, you'll get that nice crispy outside flavor along with that nice soft flavor in the middle. Okay. I'm trying to keep them the same size. And like I said, I believe I do have the recipe. You're just gonna have to search for it. I'm sorry, I'm not that techie when it comes to. I'm still learning, as we all are. I'm going to wash my hands real quick because I'm starting to stick. And I was watching someone, and a good thing to do is maybe put just a little bit of oil on your hands to make them so that they don't stick. So just a little bit of oil will help so they don't stick to your hands. Okay. I have it on a medium low to low. So I want to make sure that they're going to cook properly and not scorch, which requires some patience. Okay? I know. Who cares about patience? See, and that came out too big, so I'm going to redo it. these are really economical. And they're yummy. You could do them for your daycare kids. You could do them for a family event. Do them for catering. Included on your entree if someone wants a little bit of that Mexican or South American on their menu. I'm just going to go ahead and pour just a little bit in between of oil. Just drizzle a little bit of oil in between them. Put this over here because it's getting a little bit hot and I don't want my oil to be that hot. And if you want to avoid the oils, you see how that I want it to lightly saute so that I can have that little bit of crunch. So okay. And you can tell when it's done, it's a little bit brown on the edges. It'll be brown. And this meat, it's so tender, delicious. So, and you want it to be fork tender. Do you see that? Or it just falls apart. And I can just stick it right in the arepa. I am going to remove my bay leaf. But I want the bell peppers. Oh, and I did put a jalapeno pepper in there while I slow cooked it. And some garlic. Yeah, I can see the pieces of garlic in there. So I made a couple of them, and this is what they look like. It's gotten a little bit hard because they were sitting out. They're so delicious. I have to taste everything. I'm going to take a small, and basically what you want to do, I'm going to move these aside. I'm going to have my peppers. Okay, I did grill some peppers, and they came out of my garden. Oh, they're so delicious. I just roasted them in between so that the flavors from the arepa can incorporate with my pepper. It's like sauteing your onions right next to your burger. Same thing, but only using peppers and arepas. It's so delicious. Oh my gosh. This is incredibly tasty. The pepper. I think these are pepperoncini. I'm not quite sure what kind of peppers they are. I could eat it to the nub. It's so delicious. Okay. Getting quite enough heat, so I'm going to go ahead and raise the heat on that. I want to be able to make a few so that you can see. I would say that's about a good tablespoon. I would say that's like a heaping tablespoon. Now that I'm eyeballing it and kind of paying closer attention. You have to try these arepas. Oh my gosh. And that's what they're traditionally called. Sure, you can Google it, or you can look on the internet and you can see how it was derived and do a little history on it, which is nice. So I'm going to go ahead and remove. These are pretty much done. You want to make sure that they're cooked throughout, but yet they keep their little bit of moisture in them. And it should be springy to the touch. Put a little bit too much oil, just take a paper towel and damp that. Put that over here, just for right now. Okay. I want to hurry up and get these done. Okay. Make sure you use the side that's already been used. Okay, let's see how well that comes out. I'll use this since it has some oil on it. That way I can oil my fingers. Improvise. The difference between the arepas and the tortitas is that with the tortitas you put everything on top, whereas the arepas you're going to cut them open like a sandwich and you're going to go ahead and fill them. When they make like little tortitas or arepas and they're filled, which is nice. Okay, that's my last one. This is really fun. This is something that the children can, your kids can do in your daycare if you want to do a cooking day with them. Put this over here. Oh, and always clean during your cooking. Just make things better, and I think it just makes the food taste better. Put that over here. Trying to spread this oil a little bit. Be careful you don't burn your fingers. Okay, I'm going to start assembling them. Basically, I want to take my knife, and I like using a rigid knife. I'm going to turn that off because there's still a lot of heat in the cast iron skillet. And the nice thing about a cast iron skillet is that it retains heat. It's kind of hot still, so be careful. Try to get some that are cooled down. I don't want to use the ones that I already, that one's a little bit cool, that are cold. Make sure you put them on a pretty plate. What I want to do is just switch around here, take some of that meat that I have made. Make sure you put that liquid on there. Just wrap it around the fork. However, you can cut it up. You could use chicken. You could even use seafood. And basically just dress it up, and there you have it. I think I'm going to cut them in half all the way. Pretty much all the way. Liquid in there.